Wasson from CreativeGuitarStudio.com. Rhythm guitar makes up at least 80% of what we end up doing as guitar players, so we need as much competency in this area as possible. That's why this lesson is going to deal with one of the most popular ideas related to playing as a rhythm guitarist. It's the area of performing filler licks in and around our chord changes. Now, our lesson here is going to focus on 4 popular music styles. We're going to do folk, country, blues, and jazz, and I've created examples of filler lines that you can study within each of these styles. Lines that you can learn and then copy into your own songs and the music that you like to play. So let's get started discussing it here in this episode of the Guitar Blog Insider. Our first filler line example is going to be in the folk style, and it's going to be in the key of C major. We'll have a C chord moving to an F, have some strumming going on, and then a filler line taking us through and back to each chord. Here's what it sounds like. So it's very simple. We're just moving between that C major and that F major chord in the key of C. And the idea overall is we have our 8th note into a couple of 16ths, and then there's an alternate bass tone as well. So you're hearing that movement going back and forth between strings on every beat. And then it happens again on the F, just like that. And then we also have the filler lines that are walking lines. There's like a bass line really coming between the chords there. So on the C moving to the F, we're walking C, D, E, then the F chord enters. And then on the way back, when we're taking it to the C again, we're just walking down from the F, E, D, back to the C. So it's a very easy idea. If you had to go to the 5 chord of G major, you could just walk down from the C. So I took it from the C, B, A, G. Walk back up if you wanted to. They're very easy to hear, and they're very easy to get into sync with what has to happen inside the harmony of the key itself. And if you had to walk down to other chords, like let's say perhaps you wanted to walk into something like an A minor, you could go, something like that. And you can invent all of your own types of movements that you'd like, and it's really a lot of fun to add these in. You can tell it's a very basic kind of alternate bass strumming idea in the folk style. And what I would suggest doing is after you learn this, try and make up some of your own folk riffs, maybe listen to some of your favorite artists and take some of their chord changes to heart, and then add some of these types of filler lines into that music. And by doing that, in no time at all, you'll start being able to integrate this stuff into your own playing and use it whenever you'd like to. Our second filler line idea is going to be in the country style. It's going to be another really strict alternate bass note concept. I'm going to play it for you first, and then we'll talk about it more. Here we go. 2, 3, 4. So you can hear it's really a lot more driving on the alternate bass concept there, where you're having the root chord of the chord go on, in this case an A, and then we're hitting the upper part of the chord, hitting it to the bass tone. And then the walk up is very short. In the first measure, we're just taking a B to a C sharp into the D chord. And then what's happening though on the D chord is we're doing a little bit longer run there. We're going to take it from the D, open 4th string, into a C sharp, into a B, and then into an open A to take us finally to the E chord. So it's a little bit longer of a run when we're traveling from D to E. And you can tell a very similar idea that we have off the E chord when we're heading back. It's a B and a C sharp once again to go back into that A. And the A is the same notes when we're moving to the D. It's a B and a C sharp. So you'll find a lot of repetition in country. You'll also find some of the lines be a little bit longer like we've seen here, and a lot more strict use of 8th notes, and alternate bass becomes a really important element. So take a look through some of your country songs that you like and enjoy listening to, and break them down, look through the changes, understand what you can do to be able to generate some of these walking lines and filler statements. They're more like bass lines really between the chord changes, and I think what you'll find and discover along the way is a lot of your favorite bands are using them already, and all you got to do is become acquainted with how you're going to switch between the harmony of each chord and adopt it into your own playing style. Hey, I know we're only halfway through this video, but I wanted to stop for just a moment to let you know about the guitar courses over on my website at creativeguitarstudio.com. I've got step-by-step beginner, intermediate, and advanced guitar courses that work alongside of in-depth elective programs to form the best possible guitar courses available online. These courses will work to help you learn to identify exactly where you are, how you're going to get up to that next level of guitar playing, and do it all in a very organized step-by-step way that just simply makes sense. So look forward to helping you further at creativeguitarstudio.com. Let's get back to this lesson on rhythm guitar filler licks. Our third filler line is going to be in the blues style. We're going to be in the key of A, and we're going to operate between the 1 chord and the 4 chord, which will be an A dominant 7th to a D dominant 7th. So what we're going to do is first of all start off by jamming this thing out for you. It goes like this: 2, 3, and a 4, and a. As you can tell, it's really smooth sounding. It's nice with that triplet feel, the shuffle groove going on here, and I'm doing it fairly slow. This is around 75 beats per minute. And the idea overall is that we're using the same statement in between the chord changes. Now, if you're in a 12-bar blues, let's say, the root chord and the 4 chord are the most popular chords in the 12-bar blues. So, you know, between those two, you're playing and jamming on them a lot. So what we're going to be doing is coming up with this little filler riff that's going to go from a bar idea at the 7th frets. So that's on 4th and 3rd strings, and then we're going to go to a barred idea here on the 5th frets, same strings, 4th and 3rd strings, and then we're going to have a hammer on come in there on the 6th fret. So we're kind of going from a sound of a minor to a major third right there, and then we're going to walk down from the A to the G. So altogether, we got this, and that's off the 3rd beat. And it's all triplets in there, so it's like 3 and a 4 and a. And off the top end, what we're doing is, of the measure, all we're doing is getting the bass note of the chord into the upper part of the chord. We're missing the downbeat of 2, there's a rest there, but we're going to have a couple of strums going on after that. And it's going to be a really nice feel. We're going to use the same kind of feel when we get to the D7 chord, and we're going to use the exact same filler lick. Because the filler lick really sounds nice when you're heading back to the A chord. So you can work on that, come up with some ideas, listen to a lot of your favorite blues players. Notice that they're probably going to be doing very similar things, in between their chord changes if they're using some filler lines and filler licks. And as soon as you begin, to get a comfortable feel with this, you're going to be able to start integrating it into a lot of your own songs and, use it for a lot of your own playing style too. Our filler line from example 4 is going to be a jazzy, smooth jazz style idea in the key of A minor. We're going to have the A minor root chord, the 4th chord of D minor, and the 5th chord of E minor 7. And we're just going to set these up with some nice filler lines between them. I'm going to play this for you right now so you get a good idea what it sounds like. Here we go. 2, 3, 4. So as you can tell, it's a really groovy line. It's sort of, almost like a funk jazz idea though too. But because it's a 1-4-5, it's pretty straightforward. I'm just using a lot of pentatonic scale out of the A minor. Just to give you, sort of ideas of notes that you can add in. Pentatonic works fantastic. In the case of us, here we're in A minor, so A minor pentatonic is really cool. So I'm starting off with a couple of chord shots. I've got a dotted 8th note into a 16th, and then there's a rest on the 2nd beat. After that, some 16th notes are bringing in a D to a E, and then we have a grace note hammer-on from a G to a A, back down to that G, and then we're going to have a pull-off of 16th notes going from an E to a D, sliding over to a C tone there. Notice that pull-off idea and a slide. All right, and then after that, we're going to move up to the 5th string root. We're going to do this pattern here of D minor 7 that has no 5th, and it's just root, minor 3rd, minor 7, and an octave of the minor 3rd up there. Fingering is all set up between the 2nd and the 5th strings, and we got 2nd finger, index, ring, and small finger covering that shape. We're going to do the exact same shape when we move up to the E minor 7, and then at that point we're going to have a 16th note triplet to turn us back around. We're going to have a 5th and 7th fret 4th string G A going back to the G, and and then we're going to have an E tone on the 7th fret of 5th string. That's going to be our final note, taking us back to the top of this 2-bar jam with these nice filler licks. I'll play it nice and slow for you. So I think you can have some fun with that. These ideas can be used in different kinds of styles too. You could use it in some Motown jams. You can even use it in some funk. You'll find it in soul R&B music. You know, it's a really versatile type of sound that we're dealing with here. But what's great is, you know, you can integrate these filler lines in a very easy way with minor pentatonic scale. Especially if you've seen the video that I have up on YouTube called the frying pan shape. Just being able to cover your entire fingerboard with these, you know, recurring patterns. There's 3 of them, and it's a really good video. If you haven't checked it out, it's called, you just go to, you know, the YouTube search and just search a frying pan guitar method. You'll find it. It's a very popular video. It's got, you know, a couple 100,000 views, I believe. So anyway, you know, jam out on these ideas. You know, listen closely though also to your favorite players and the favorite songs that you have in this similar styles, and I'm sure you'll start hearing a lot of people are doing this. It's a really nice sound to integrate into your rhythm guitar, and it's just going to bump your overall skill set up to that next level of rhythm guitar ability. Now you're probably going to want to invest some serious study time on learning these filler lines, which will mean making a study of the ideas that I've performed for you in this lesson. So I've got all these chord progressions laid out in tab for you. Just head over to my blogger site at creativeguitarstudio.blogspot.com. Well, as always, thanks for joining me. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more. And remember to hit that bell when you subscribe so that you never miss any of my uploads to YouTube. Until next time, take care, and we'll catch up again on the next video. Bye for now. When it comes to online guitar lessons, there's no place better than creativeguitarstudio.com. General membership to the site is always free, and paid memberships to access our step-by-step beginner, intermediate, and advanced guitar programs are offered in reasonable monthly and annual packages. Skype lessons are also available if you need more specific instruction one-on-one to discuss the finer details of your guitar playing. Sign up today at creativeguitarstudio.com. I've got 25 years experience teaching guitar and have written a well-organized step-by-step guitar course. Head over to my website at creativeguitarstudio.com and sign up for a free membership today. Join the thousands of members worldwide who have already enrolled. There's no need to try learning the guitar on your own. Let me help you become the best guitar player that you can be.